Hello everybody, it's Jim the Gentleman Crafter again, and tonight I was going to walk you through the second part of the Thankful Things book. This is the book we did on Ustream on Tuesday, started on Ustream Tuesday. You can purchase this pattern in my Etsy store. Just go to my blog at thegentlemancrafter.blogspot.com and you can find the link to my store at the top in one of the tabs. Okay, so I'm going to start on part 2. And this is where we left off. We left off on Tuesday night with having made a base box, okay, the drawer piece, the spine and the cover. We painted all the edges black, okay. We put on the front cover piece, the back piece, and that's where we're at right now. And we made the spine piece, which is right here, okay. So I'm going to just take it from there. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grab a piece of book paper. Okay, this one's a little bit too wide, so I'm going to cut it down, trim it down just a second. I'm just going to cut off this raw edge right here a little bit, line it up. A little, cut that off. I'm going to use my glue stick and put that down. Let's see if that works. It does. Good. So I'm going to put glue stick on the back. And then we're going to apply this to that back top of the book box. Like so. Okay, that's good enough. Kind of burnish it a little bit. Go for this corner. A little glue. Put that down. Okay, so that's the front, it's the back page, top of this book box, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build our pages, okay? So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry and go for the pages. What I've done is I cut these down to the size that's in the pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to score them in half with my scoreboard. So half at 6. And I think that it calls for 6 pages. I'm going to do 3. Just so you can get the idea of what I'm doing. So I'm going to take my first page. And I'm going to, you can measure this. But I'm going to take my book binding cover, or my cover, and line it up so I'll know where the holes are. This is just easier. You could measure it. It's 1 3/4 in from each edge. But I'm going to just do this. And then I'm going to get my punch out. Here. I'm using the big bite. And I'm using an 1/8 inch hole. You could pierce this with the piercing tool. I'm just going to punch right on that hole and right on the score mark there. Okay, on both sides. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and use this as my template for the others. Just gonna line them up real quick. And punch through both sides. Like that, okay? Alright, so now we're ready. I'm going to fold these in half. And then what you want to do is you want to line these first with paper. After I show you how to put them together. And then we'll go from there. So I'm not going to line them with paper, but I'll show you inside the other book. So first thing we want to do is we're going to grab some more little thinner strips of the same paper if you want, and cut them down to probably about 3/4 of an inch. Or let's see, what do we got? Let's do 3/4. Just some thin little strips, and you want them to be 9 inches long. And like that, and then we're going to score them. Move that out of the way. What is that? I'm sorry, 3/8 of an inch. If you don't hold on to it, it really wants to move, doesn't it? Okay, so that way it's good enough. And then put some score tape on the back side. I'm just going to use some 1/4. So on each side of that score line. And this is going to bind our little pages together, our book pages together. And then once they're bound, you want to add the book paper to it. So just start from the front edge. I'm going to turn these backwards, so these are down, right? So you've got that. Okay, so I'm going to pull off one of the sides. I just cut my fingernails not too long ago, so. And you want to work off one of the middle pieces. Okay, you're going to work off this, and you're going to build on each side. So I'm going to put that right there. Line it up all the way down. Okay, and then cut off any excess. Okay, put one on this side. Take off any excess, and then you can apply your pages. I need to get my pick out somewhere. Let's see, do I have a pick available? Is this one? And then add your pages. Flip it, and then add your last page. You can use as many pages as you'd like, just as long as you don't go over about 1/2 inch. Okay. So at this point, this is where you add more book paper to cover the pages. Okay, so you've got your pages. And you want to go to your middle of your book. So So you've got 3 on each side. On this particular piece, I've got 3 on each side. And once again, you add your book paper to each side. I'm not going to do that, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the pages. Just add your book paper to each side, okay? Back and forth on all the front and the back, okay? Just to make it, just to cover the pages. If you like it like that, then you could leave it like that. I just thought it was fun with, you know, since we're doing a book, to use the book pages. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is, I'm going to set this aside for a second. I'm going to go ahead and line my book cover, okay, with some paper. I'm going to grab this out, find some lining paper. I'm using the Destinations. And I think what I'll do is, I think I'll use stamps. Cut that down to size. See if it fits. It does, maybe just a little tad off of each. Okay, and then I'm gonna mark my edges, darken my edges with my pen. And then I'm going to run this through the Xyron and we'll put it down. So give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, I've run it through my Xyron. And I'm going to lay the front, this is the inside lining paper of the cover, down on the front of the inside cover. Good. Okay. And then, so that's front and back is covered. And then I'm going to go for the pages. Once again, at this point they should be covered with paper. I'm going to grab some linen thread and a tapestry needle. This has got a knot in it, but that's probably okay. A tapestry needle. Let's see, one of those. Thread it. And this is once again not traditional bookbinding. It's just going to make do. It works. So I'm going to leave a tail on the back. Come from the outside cover. Coming through here. Okay. I'm going to leave a tail on the back. And then go through my middle page. Here, outside middle, and through the middle, and then back down through the top hole, so it's like that, right? Back down to the top hole, here, and just sew it in, you know, basically, just sewing it in. Let's see if I can get that a little bit tighter. And doing it again. Going through the spine, through the hole. Once again, not traditional bookbinding, it's just something to hold it in. And I'm probably just going to do it one more time, just to secure it. But I want to end up on the inside, I want my ends to be on the inside. So I'll probably have to take this out. I'm sorry, I've got it up to me. Running it through one more time. this end. I'm going to run it through the end and pull this out and rethread this, or thread this one on the back that was never threaded, just the end. Thread it here and put it through this hole, the top hole. You're probably just going to have to rewind that a couple of times to understand what I'm talking about. You'll get it. You basically just want to get them, get these in here about 2 or 3 times, around it 2 or 3 times. There it is on the back side, 3 times, and just around through the front, and just tie it off. If you want to do it once, you could. If you want to do it twice, that's fine. Let's just hold it in. This is nice when you have somebody to help you do this part, so you can get a pretty good tight knot. And then just cut off your ends with some scissors. Okay, and that holds your book pages in. Okay, so that's that. So that's almost ready. So we're almost ready to put that on. Actually, we could go ahead and do that. Let's just go ahead and do that. So on this, I'm going to take the unfinished end here, the spine of the book. I'm going to add some tape. You can use whatever you'd like. I'm using 1/2 inch score tape. I'm going to put it on this end, that end. Use my scissors to cut that off. Do it again over here. And then I'm going to do just a little piece on each end. Okay. And then I'm going to add some glossy accents to the inside. So let me locate that and I'll be right back. So I'm just going to put a line of, just a bead of, it's not really a bead, a little line of glossy accents in the middle. Pull up my tabs, my tapes. And of course I never have my glasses on to see what I'm doing. And keep on thinking I can do it by myself without the use of the glasses, but I don't have my glasses. Oh, there they are, right here. Ah. Okay. Okay. So I want to find the front. This is going to be the back because it's got the leather on the back. So I want to put that down. Moving this over and into place. Kind of line it up to be flush with the bottom and flush with the top, and then I'm going to stick it in. Just like that. So just wanted to line it up with here and at the top. Just kind of line those up first and then stick it in like that. Okay, stick it in. And that is the book. Okay. So they're your pages, and then these would be covered with book paper, just like we did on the back. So it kind of looks like a book. And I love the way it kind of comes out and protrudes out and looks like a book on the sides here. I think that's kind of cool. So don't worry about that. I think that's kind of neat. And then the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to line the... Actually, let's put on the spine. Let's go ahead and put on the spine piece. So for the spine, if you wanted to, what I did on mine was I embossed it. Okay? With the thank you that I had, and then I with some aged silver. That's what I did for the spine. So I'm taking my spine piece, I'm just going to add tape on each side of the score lines. Here are the 2 score lines right here. So I'm going to add that on the back side. Okay, you don't want to add it in here, in the middle part, just on the outside of those score marks. like that. One more piece. And then we'll line the drawer box. And then we'll make that closure and we're good. The book is done. So it's a fairly easy project. You're just gluing and taping all the pieces on. And so this will go here. We'll put it down. Kind of line it up on each end again. Okay. And remember, we didn't do the middle part because what's going to happen is when this opens, see how that bows up? Just like a book. You don't want to put it down or it's going to have a really hard time to do that. Okay, just to cover up the strings on the end to make it look more like a really pretty book. Okay, so that's that. And now we're going to line the drawer. So I'll get that all ready and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my pieces. And I'm just lining it per the cutting guide. It's my tutorial. Getting cold here in Texas, and I tell you, I'm feeling a bit under the weather myself from the cold. So, sorry I'm not so lively. Just lining it with the different pieces. And using my bone folder to burnish them down a little bit. Just dropped it on the ground. What I did was I cut all the pieces first, and then I used my black marker to go around them. Let me grab my papers. On the edges, so they kind of blend into the black. A few more. I'm going to do the inside. I already did my little pieces here on the ends. You can't really see those really well on the camera. The lighting in here is bad, but they're there. It's kind of a tough piece to do. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to use this. I would use tweezers, but I've got this handy, so I'm just going to use this. Handy dandy. Okay, and then burnish that in. Put in my side pieces. But what we want to do is we want to cut some papers that fit, and I just had some ecru. It's lighter cardstock for people to write their Thanksgiving thoughts on, or their thoughts of thanks, I guess, and then your pen channel, your pen goes in the pen channel. Okay, so the inside of the book is done, the secret drawer, except for the closure. And so we're going to work on the closure next, and for the closure we're using sticky back canvas. And let me get that part ready for you, and I'll be right back. Okay, you know, y'all, I was thinking I don't have another latch, and so I'm just going to show you how to do this. So I took my piece and I scored it at 1, and I scored it again at 2 3/4. Okay, and then I'm going to take my backing off. I'll just fold over one of the edges. Get that out of the way. Fold over one of the edges on the score mark. Kind of line up. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the cool thing. Okay. but what I did it to, you can make this any length you want or any width you want. My latch is fairly large, and once again, this came from Scrabadabadoo.com. I don't think it's in my pattern, but I got this from Scrabadabadoo.com. I love the ornate, so that's why I got this measurement from, or that's where I got that from. I'm just going to trim up a little bit here, and then I'm going to grab some of my paper. Choose that one. And then paint it with just plain black acrylic paint. You know, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm sorry, is I am going to use my, you could cut this off to round it, or you could use a, oops, there goes my paint, quarter rounder. And I'm using the quarter end punch. I'm just going to round off the edges. I don't know why, just to make it a little bit better. Then I'll paint it. Okay. Really want to get it good and yummy. And then I'll dry it, and I'll come back to you in a second. So you don't want to see me sit here and watch it dry, okay? So I'll be back in a second. Thanks a bunch. I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I just had a coffee spill. I'm grabbing anything, any kind of shoe polish I've got, right? As long as it's dark. Put a little on here. And I'm just going to put shoe polish on here. I painted it black on both sides. That's where I left it last. I'm just going to put shoe polish on here. And then I'm just going to buff it off. Got a little shoe polish here with some oil on it. Move that out of the way. Just like doing your shoes. Okay. And then I'm going to just take off some of these little extra stragglies there went. Okay, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to move that out all the way. And then I put it up next to, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. And remember me saying about this front part? Go ahead and remove that. Don't do that yet. And in fact, in my pattern, it'll say that. Don't put this piece on, this inside lining paper here yet until you put on this piece. So I'm just going to line it up visually in the center. And stick it down. I don't know if I want to do that too well, so I'm going to see what it's coming to. We've got 3 3/8 and 3 1/2 over a little bit, like that, and just toward the bottom here. This is going to help open the drawer. And then I'm going to take my piercing tool and pierce through about 3 times, I guess. one on each end and one in the middle. Okay, like that. Okay, take this off, open these up just a bit more. And then I'm going to grab some brads. I'll make these a little bit bigger. Stick these in. Insert the brad legs through the holes, one at a time. Like that. And then take it from the back side. You'll know the rules. How it works. Fold the brad legs down. Gonna help you open the drawer this way, as well as latch your book closed, okay? So right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in my last paper. Kind of cover up those brad legs like that, okay? So there's that. So what we'll do now is I'll start from over here on this book. And so lastly, I just once again got this this latch from scrabadabadoo.com, and you put it on there, punch your holes through, put your brad legs in, fold your brad legs back, and then you're ready for your front cover piece. And you put your latch in, your front latch in here, okay? You can cover it with this lining paper. I mean, I did a book plate to kind of cover the brad legs later. And then put your drawer in, you latch over, and you got your book, right? So once again, this is to help you pull this open, and it also latches over, okay? So here we go on this one. So this has your pin here, the pin channel. I'll bring that over and latch it in place. And so now I'll just talk to you about some of the things that I did. Once again, I embossed the spine with thank you. I added Tim Holtz shield die to the front and a lighter colored paper. And once again, I waxed the paper with shoe polish. And I just had this embellishment in my collection, I think from Hobby Lobby or Michaels, and I alcohol inked it to kind of match and blend with copper, actually espresso and copper, I believe, espresso and copper, and because it was pure silver. And then I just adhered that to the front. Then I added some Tim Holtz corner pieces to the front here. And once again, to cover up the brad legs for this part, you can either reserve putting on this lining paper until after you do this, but I can never wait. I want to see what it looks like. And so then I just put a book plate, or a larger book plate, one of these older book plates on top of a piece of paper that I had stamped. And then you got your pages. So you could add in what you're thankful for. Each person, each family member could add in what they're thankful for and tape it to the book. And so you'll always have this to say, this is what I was thankful for in 2013 on Thanksgiving, or this is what I was thankful for, period, anytime. You know what I mean? And just keep it and have it ready. So y'all, that is the Thankful Things book. I hope you like it, and I hope that answers all your questions, and I hope you give it a shot. Thanks again. Y'all have a great night. Bye.